Have you ever promised yourself you'd change and then repeated the same habits the next day? If yes, this story is for you. Because you're not broken, you're just trapped in comfort. And comfort is convincing. In a quiet village near a wide river and open fields, there lived a young man named Ethan. He worked with leather, belts, straps, boots, things people relied on every day. And he was genuinely good at it. When he focused, his hands moved with confidence. His work looked clean, strong, honest. People would say, Ethan could be the best in the region. And Ethan believed him. But Ethan had one habit that kept stealing his future. He delayed. Every morning, he would sit outside his workshop with something warm in his hands, watching the river move, listening to the wind, and telling himself the same sentence, "I'll start in a little while." A little while became an hour became a day, and a day became a week. Unfinished work waited quietly, a strap that needed one last cut, a boot missing final stitching, a belt that only needed polishing. Orders came in, not because he was famous, because people trusted him. Yet Ethan kept waiting for the right moment. He told himself, "I work best when I feel inspired." He didn't realize what he was really saying. "I will only build my future when I feel like it." Ethan's friend Noah stopped by. Noah was a baker, quiet, consistent, not the kind of person who talked about discipline, the kind of person who lived it. Noah looked around the workshop, unfinished pieces, unused tools, dust sitting like time had paused. He didn't insult Ethan. He didn't lecture him. He asked one calm question. "Ethan, do you ever get scared that one day you'll run out of tomorrows?" Ethan smiled like it was nothing. "I've got time," he said. "I just need the right moment." Noah nodded slowly. "The right moment isn't coming," he said. "You have to create it." Ethan laughed softly, changed the subject, and moved on. But when Noah left, the silence felt. That night, Ethan lay in bed staring at the ceiling. His mind wasn't loud, just restless. He thought about unfinished orders. He thought about the respect he wanted. He thought about the man he kept promising he would become. And then he felt it, that quiet pressure in the chest. Not pain, guilt. The kind that doesn't scream, but doesn't let you rest either. First thing in the morning, Ethan woke up late again. Outside, the village felt different. He heard disappointment, soft, sharp, and honest. A farmer stood in the square holding a worn leather strap that had snapped. He wasn't angry because it broke. He was angry because the repair was weeks late. Ethan heard a sentence that hit harder than any insult. "He's talented, but you can't depend on him." The village manager, an older man named Mr. Carter, walked into Ethan's workshop. Mr. Carter didn't raise his voice. He just looked around at the unfinished work and said, "Ethan, people trust you, and trust is fragile. If you keep delaying, they'll stop coming. Not because you lack skill, but because you lack discipline." Ethan tried to speak, but nothing came out. Mr. Carter paused, then said one line Ethan would remember for years. "Talent isn't rare, son. Consistency is rare." And then he left. Ethan sat alone in his workshop, surrounded by his own potential. Skill, surrounded by his own potential. Tools, time, skill, everything was there. Consistency. That evening, he walked to the river and watched the water move without stopping. And he finally asked himself an honest question. What if my life stays like this forever? Just behind him, an older craftsman named Samuel sat beside Ethan. Samuel had been respected in the village for decades, not because he talked a lot, because he delivered. Samuel didn't give a motivational speech. He gave a principle. Your problem isn't that you're broken. Your problem is that you keep waiting for a feeling to rescue you. Ethan stared at the river and admitted, "I don't know how to force myself." Samuel nodded like he'd heard it before. You don't force yourself with big promises. You force yourself with small actions. Then he gave Ethan one rule. Tomorrow, show up for 10 minutes. 10 minutes even if you're tired. 10 minutes even if you feel bored. 10 minutes even if you feel nothing. After 10 minutes, you can stop, but you must show up. Ethan almost smiled. 10 minutes sounded too small to matter. Samuel answered that thought before Ethan even spoke. Small is the point, he said. Small is how you rebuild trust with yourself. Ethan woke up and felt the same resistance. His body wanted comfort. His mind offered excuses. Start tomorrow. Today doesn't matter. One day won't change anything. But he remembered Samuel's rule. 10 minutes. He walked into the workshop and picked up the strap he had avoided for weeks. His hands felt slow. His thoughts felt messy. But he started anyway. 10 minutes passed. He wanted to stop. Then he whispered, "Just 5 more." By the end of that day, one order was finished. Not perfect, finished. And something shifted inside him. A quiet kind of pride, the kind that doesn't need applause. The next day, he showed up again. 10 minutes became 20, 20 became 40. And slowly, the workshop changed. Less dust, more finished work, more peace. Then the village changed too. People stopped doubting and started trusting. One morning, Noah walked in, looked around and smiled. "I can see it. You're becoming dependable." Weeks later, Samuel returned. He looked at the clean benches and finished orders. "Do you feel the difference?" he asked. Ethan took a slow breath. "I do," he said. "I still get lazy thoughts. I still feel resistance. But now, I don't obey it." Samuel nodded once. Discipline isn't a personality, it's a practice, and practice changes your life. So if you're listening to this and you feel stuck, remember, you don't need a perfect mood. You need a small decision. Show up for 10 minutes, then show up again tomorrow. Because motivation fades, but consistent action builds a future you can respect. One day you'll look back and realize something simple. You didn't wait for your life to change. You changed it. Thank you for listening.